Welcome back to Why You Hate Cake. Last time we talked about how dimensions influence your hatred of cake. This time I'm talking about ratios. Not sure how long I can keep the maths analogy up for, but let's see how it goes. As we know from the first video, people generally don't like cake, so it's the ratios of your fillings to cake that will make or break someone's experience of it. So how do you know how much to use? I always like to say, imagine someone is eating your cake with a teaspoon. In every bite, they should be able to enjoy every flavour that you've put into that cake. A broad rule of thumb would be a 1:2 ratio of filling to cake. Hold your horses though, because the rules of part 1 still apply. You cannot serve someone a vanilla cake with a vanilla buttercream in a 1:2 ratio and expect them to tell you it's the best cake you've ever made. So how do you know what to put in? I like to differentiate based on whether my cake is a dry crumb or a moist crumb. If it's a dry crumb, it's often baked using the creaming method, so a banana cake or a coconut cake. A moist crumb is generally baked using a wet and dry method. The obvious example is a chocolate cake, but other good examples are a hummingbird cake or a ginger cake. For the sake of time, let's focus on the dry crumb cake. While it might be light and fluffy, when you're having a slice of it, it can feel quite dry. So what you really want your filling to do is to bring a level of moisture to contrast that light and fluffiness of your cake. And the easiest way to do that is to add fruit in some form, be that using a compote or a curd or just folding fruit into your buttercream. One of the tiers of my wedding cake was a coconut cake, and I added not one but 2 fruits to add that level of moisture and flavour complexity. And as you can see, the ratios are such that you can get all 3 flavours in 1 spoonful. But with every good rule comes an exception. The astute amongst you will have noticed that in this video, I am not heeding my own advice. That is because this cake is my Jaffna style butter cake, which is in my opinion so delicious that it doesn't actually need any icing. But because this cake is a layered bespoke cake, I needed to ice it. So I applied the principles of part 1 and chose a tart mixed berry Swiss meringue buttercream and kept the layers to an absolute minimum so that it just provided a gentle contrast to the buttery goodness of the cake. All to say that while a rule of thumb is nice, sometimes you just have to trust your palate. Here's how she looked in the end. Thanks for watching.